The world has entered the most violent era it has been in decades. First, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and were well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out there that are in this shoot and that subscribe to this shoot and pushing this shoot. Hey, the earth, right now, war is brewing upon the earth everywhere. It is brewing everywhere on the earth. Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, as it says in scriptures, he's a man of war. And, judgment is going to come through war, especially on Babylon the Great, aka America. But it's also going to come upon all the heathens as well because of what they've done to the Most High's Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai's chosen people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Israelites that are scattered abroad that may look like the heathen nations on the outside, but their sea line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is bringing the spirit of war on the earth to execute his judgment. I want to read. Let's start right here. We'll start at here. The Telegraph reports that 2024 marked a peak in global violence with 56 active conflicts across 50 countries, one of the highest counts since 1946. These conflicts range from the civil war in Myanmar to the ongoing war in Ukraine and to the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza. The data compiled by ACLED and the Salah conflict data programming indicates that over 1 million fatalities have been recorded from armed conflicts between 2020 and 2024, surpassing the total death toll from conflicts between 2010 and 2019. So yeah, it is getting real violent on this earth right now. And this is letting us know that Jacob's trouble is near. Because, the earth is getting more evil, more wicked by the day. This sharp rise is largely attributed to three major conflicts: the 2021 military coup in Myanmar, Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, and the Israel-Hamas war that begun in 2023. These conflicts alone accounted for more than half of the fatalities recorded in 2024. The distribution of violence has also become more widespread, unlike previous decades where conflicts were often concentrated in specific regions. 2024 saw every major region of the world grappling with significant levels of armed conflict. Yeah, we can see that with India, Pakistan, Russia, Ukraine. Now Babylon the Great, America's, they're having conflicts with their own allies. So the whole world right now is in tension because Yahweh is soon is about to send his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, back to the earth to bring judgment. Europe, driven by the war in Ukraine, account for 33% of global conflict-related deaths, while Gaza was identified as the most dangerous and violent place in 2024, with over 80% of its population exposed to conflict and at least 35,000 fatalities recorded. I'm going to just end it right there. I'm going to leave the article in the description, and we're going to get to some precepts. This is Genesis 6, starting at verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And when you go into the translation of heart in the Greek, it means lab, which means mind. So at this time on the earth, Noah's time, the people on the earth were continually thinking wickedness and only evil in their hearts, which led to violence as it goes down when you read, as it goes into when you read more down in the scriptures. I'll keep reading. And it repented the Lord Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and a creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with the Most High. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupted before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. And the Most High looked upon the earth and said, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. So, as it was in Noah's time, the people got continually waxed worse and worse to the point where their only thoughts is to just be evil, wicked, and kill and be violent. That's the times we're coming into, as it says in Ecclesiastes 1:9, nothing new under the sun, because we know the scriptures deal with reincarnation. So it's going to be the same playbook. The first death was by the flood, and the second death at the end of the world will be by fire, by those ICBM missiles. This is 2 Ezra 15, starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invade one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, through the entire earth, it will become a free-for-all, because, society is going to collapse. And people are going to be fighting for food and resources, to just survive. And they're going to ignore the government because they know the government is going to be useless. And matter of fact, the government's going to be against them as well, against the citizens. As we keep reading, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. And the reason why this is because martial law checkpoints will be, everywhere on the earth, because soon the MOTB, the RFID micro C-hip, will be mandatory on the earth. And if you don't take it, they're going to kill you. If they catch you, they're going to torture you and kill you if they catch you and you refuse to take the MOTB, the mark of the beast, RFID micro C-hip. So there's going to be martial law checkpoints guarding, cities, guarding places all around the earth. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So during this time of Jacob's trouble, the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, men are going to be afraid. Not just women, men will be afraid, because it's been a long time since most men have been in any physical combat to life or death, and seen a lot of death around them, especially in Babylon the Great. As it says in the scriptures, Babylon the Great, aka America, it says in Jeremiah, don't know exact chapter, but it says somewhere in Jeremiah that the men in Babylon the Great, America, have become like women, because All the foods defiled, the indoctrination that they put upon men to make them weak and submissive towards the women. And, as the scripture says, a woman shall compass a man at the end. So women are above the men right now, in the world. Not in the world, but in Babylon the Great. In other parts of the world, they have their women on lock. But Babylon the Great, America, the woman is above the man. Because, that's how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, set it up to destroy, the Israelites. And now we go to verse 20. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power Yahweh. So Yahweh Shem Shai is making it to where all the heathens are going against each other. Basically, all the heathens are going to war, and that's the judgment from Yahweh Shem Shai because of what the heathens have done to us in slavery. Continuing, verse 22, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth. And the sinners, like the straw that is kindled, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. So Yahweh Shem is getting fed up with this earth, especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, because they are always shedding innocent blood. So look at Gaza and look at Putin has recently invaded like a certain part of Israel and found a child trafficking ring in Israel, where the Edomites are at, the Amalekites. And it links back to America, Hollywood and D.C. The roots lead back to Hollywood and D.C. So Yahweh Shem is exposing Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and he's going to judge them as well because he's getting fed up with the earth and the wickedness that continues upon the earth. Iran seals defense pact with Russia as U.S. nuclear tensions continue to escalate. And I will also leave this article in the description as well. So let's start right here at the beginning. Iran's recent ratification of a 20-year strategic partnership with Russia marks a significant escalation in military and economic cooperation between the two nations, coming at a time of heightened tensions with the United States over Iran's nuclear program. This development, reported by Newsweek on May 21st, 2025, underscores a broader geopolitical realignment as both countries seek to counter Western influence amid ongoing sanctions and diplomatic stalemates. The agreement, signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iranian President Mossad Pezeshkian in January 2025 and ratified by Russia's legislator in April, formalizes a deep alliance that includes provisions for joint military exercises, defense technology sharing, and coordination against shared threats. So Yahweh Shem is moving the chess pieces. He's putting them in place. Jacob's trouble is on the horizon. World War III on the horizon. Yahweh Shem is putting them in place right now. This strategic partnership is seen as a response to intense pressure from Western sanctions, with both nations aiming to build alternative defense and economic frameworks to challenge U.S. dominance. Economically, the pact facilitates over 95% of bilateral trade between Iran and Russia to be conducted in rubles and rials, bypassing Western financial systems. So Russia and Iran, they're trying to not use the dollar anymore. They're just doing trade between just them and their allies. They're done with America. Everyone around the world, they're starting to drop the dollar. And this is why war is going to come, because America is going to go to war because they have to. A separate free trade agreement with the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union, effective last week, further reduces tariffs and boosts trade. Russia has also committed to supporting Iran's nuclear energy sector, including the construction of additional nuclear power units, which adds another layer of complexity to the ongoing nuclear tensions with the West. Man, Russia is also helping Iran with their military power by helping them get nukes to go against Israel and America. So, Russia's, as it says in Ezekiel 38, Russia's being a guard unto Iran and the allies around them. Militarily, the partnership strengthens Iran's capabilities, particularly through collaboration on drone technology. Iran has supplied Russia with Shahed drones extensively used in the Ukraine conflict, and the two nations are working together to manufacture drones domestically to circumvent Western sanctions. Yeah, hey. While Iran denies allegations of providing ballistic missiles to Russia, Western officials continue to raise concerns about the deepening military ties. Esau, Edom, so-called white men, they're getting scared of this relationship being built between Russia and Iran, because they know, we all know that Russia and Iran really have the advantage, and that they're going to completely destroy Israel and America, Babylon the Great, as it says in the scriptures, because everyone in the world is going to turn on Babylon the Great, America. And, also Israel, because not the world don't like Israel right now. They don't like they're being revealed for who they are. The Amalekites over there, the Edomites, are being revealed for who they are. So the world doesn't like Babylon the Great, America, and Israel. So it's going to be bad for both of them in this upcoming World War III. So, Esau, Edom is getting very scared right now. And Yahweh Shem Shah is putting the pieces on the chessboard, to where they need to be. This is Ezekiel 38. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah is telling Ezekiel, set your face against Russia, in the land of Russia, and see what I'm about to do with them. Verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Yahweh Shem Shai is telling Ezekiel that Russia will guard his allies. And we know that Persia is Iran. So Russia is going to guard Iran and all the other allies, with them. In this upcoming World War III in the Middle East. Verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and have united bars nor gates. So Yahweh Shemashai is going to put an evil thought into Russia and the allies with Russia to invade America, because we know America, Babylon the Great, aka America, is the land with unwalled of with no walls. It's unwalled because of the migrant situation that happened with Joe Biden, in the last couple of years. All these migrants and sleeper agents came in by the millions. So we know that the land of unwalled villages is talking about Babylon the Great. So Yahweh is going to put that evil thought in Russia and their allies to invade America. Verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? So, yeah, and soon Yahweh Shemashai can put that evil thought in Russia and the allies of Russia to invade America, to attack America in the end days. And that's soon to come, because we know there's prophecies and watching what's going on the earth that Jacob's trouble is very near. The hour of temptation, RFID micro C hip, the MOTB is very near. All right, this is an article where King Charles visits Canada. I'll put this article in the description as well. So, yeah, King Charles' visit brings frustration for First Nations amid backslide in reconciliation. Okay, now we're going to start here. King Charles' speech to Canada's Parliament this week was framed as a sort of rebuke to Donald Trump's threats of annexation and assertion of the country's sovereignty. So, hey, King Charles, he's visiting Canada saying, hey, Canada's cool. Everyone's coming against Babylon the Great, man. Hey, it's Yahweh Shemashai setting it up. He is setting it up. I'm telling you, he is setting it up for Babylon the Great to be destroyed. All right, now we're going to go to Joel 3, start at verse 1. For, behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. So, in the end days, Yahweh Shemashai will lift up will take out the captivity from us, and we'll be free from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man at the end. The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom together. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and pardon my land. So Yahweh Shemashai is going to gather all the heathen nations to the Middle East to judge them, to destroy them, because of what they've done to his people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelites scattered abroad around the world. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all your coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might move them far from their border. So Yahweh Shemashai is saying, yeah, you sold them to the Edomites, so you could remove them from their land and take them far away from their land, which is Israel. So the Israelites, a bulk of the Israelites got taken to America, Babylon the Great, during the transatlantic slave trade. Verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. So as we were sold into slavery, we're going to do that to the heathen. We're going to sell them into slavery and put them in slavery. Verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And Gentiles in verse 9 means the heathens. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So, Yahweh B'Shem Shai, they're going to bring all the heathen, gather all the heathen around in the Middle East to judge them, to destroy them. This is 2 Ezra 13, and this is the vision that Ezra had of Yahweh's second return to destroy and judge the heathen at the Middle East in the valley of Jehoshaphat. So we're going to start at verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man was strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai with the 20,000 angels with him, in his second coming, while Yahweh Shai is on the Father's ship. That's why people are going to tremble beneath him when they see him return. Verse 4, and whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was a gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he that had graded himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So that's how big the fathership Yahweh is coming on is. You're not going to be able to see where it even starts or where it ends. The fathership Yahweh is coming on is that huge. It's going to cover the entire earth when he returns the second time, at the Middle East to destroy the heathen. And all the heathen, from different, I'm going to keep reading actually. I'm just going to keep reading. Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So those are the chariots of Israel, the so-called UFOs, as the world would call it. The UFOs are going to be able to shoot out laser beams and fire to bring judgment and destroy the wicked on the earth when he returns for the second time. Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So when all the heathen go to World War III in the valley of Yehoshaphat in the Middle East, and they try to fight each other, Yahushua is going to return and appear to them, and then all the heathen, instead of fighting each other, they're all going to team up together and try to fight Yahushua, even though they're afraid of Yahushua. Yahushua, they're going to put it on the spirit of the heathen to fight against Yahushua, and then Yahushua is going to ultimately destroy them with the laser beams from the chariots, and also with the 20,000 other angels controlling the chariots, which would be the so-called UFOs as well. So with that, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and were well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord willingly, I pray that was an edifying lesson. And with that, I want to say shalom.